All right, so today is video 4 out of the 4-part video series that we have dedicated to the beautiful years. If you've come along this long, then you know that the beautiful years is the new 7-part saga that I have releasing October 2nd, 2018, which is Tuesday, which is tomorrow. I'm so excited to share this book with you guys and the entire saga. This saga has really been a labor of love for me. It's taken almost 2 years to fully complete, and it's just a journey that I'll never forget, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. During video 1, I explained how the story took root, how it evolved into a 7-part saga, and how it changed me as a writer. Video 2, I introduced you to the lead characters, Scarlett, Posey, and Brando, Fausti. Video 3, we went on a journey to all the beautiful locations that are found inside of these books. Not just inside of book 1, but all the way up to book 7. And now today, for the finale, this is our last video, I'm going to introduce you to the beautiful but ruthless Fausti family. Now, before we go any further, I've asked you guys to do this each time, and that is to subscribe. And that's because it's so important. This is just book 1. We still have 6 books left to go. And if you subscribe to the Beautiful Years newsletter, then you're covered and you're going to stay on top of all things the Beautiful Years. And trust me, you don't want to miss a thing. Also, something else that I'm really super excited about is that if you pre-order the book, then you get the first 3 chapters, and you also get other pre-order goodies such as screensavers. The playlist that I created is up on the website as well. It's just all of the music that I listen to while writing these books, and each book will have a different playlist, of course, as they're released. And also in the future, I'm going to upload deleted scenes, and also scenes that I wrote between Scarlett and Brando that I just wanted to write for myself because it was just simply fun to do so, because I couldn't get enough of these two. All right, so I am Annie Rose Welch, and I write love stories that transcend, which to me means different. And if you're familiar with my writing, if you know me as a writer, then you know I love the word different, and I just love taking ordinary things, spinning them a little bit and making them extraordinary. That's who I am, and that's why I'm here. But today, the real reason why I'm here is to introduce you to the Fausti family. Now, I'm really excited to introduce them because, there's actually a few reasons. What I loved about them was that they're, this is Brando's people, and they are in Italy. So the journey eventually takes you there. It's actually in book 3. You get to go to Italy. And that's when I came face to face with these people. And they were, as Brando described them, they are ruthless as they are beautiful. They're very intriguing. They're just one of the reasons why I love these books so much, because they are, in themselves, extremely compelling. Now, in book 1, Brando touches on who his family, who they are and what they're about. And I think that's the best way for me to really start this off, is to have to read a few little snippets from him where he actually goes into detail about who they are. I mean, he knows them the best, even better than I do. And so I'm going to read to you, this is his perception of his family. And at this point in time, Scarlett does not know who he truly comes from, and he doesn't want her to know because she's very curious. She's an extremely curious person, and he describes her as a butterfly a couple of times throughout the books, and I think that's extremely true because it's her who kind of goes in and wakes this sleeping giant for them. So I'm going to set the scene. This is a scene between him and his best friend, Mitch Lewis. They're in New Orleans, and Mitch is attempting to remind him of who he is, and he doesn't feel like he needs the reminder. So here we go. The Fausti family were royalty in Italy. The name well known all throughout Europe, even in America, the name was infamous, synonymous with the romantic notion of the mafia. Mafia was a simple term for what they stood for who they were. Machiavelli, Medici, Italy's southern octopus, the long-reaching Sicilian mafia. Along those same lines, but combined, the Faustis were one of the world's largest and most complex criminal enterprises in history. They owned castles, a king and his queen as the foundation, the influence trickling down into nobles, knights, and serfs. They were a living monarchy, a breathing hierarchy, a camouflaged giant that had been alive for decades. So that really sums up, who these people are. And Brando gives you a taste of that in book 1. And he also goes into more detail in book 2. In this book, he really gives you, the idea that these people are very powerful. They're controlling, and their reach spans beyond Italy. I mean, these people are known as royalty. But in book 2, he goes on to tell you that, what you see from the outside, these beautiful golden gates, once you get behind the gate, then you realize that their dynamics are much different than what it appears on the outside. He compares them to a pride of lion. There is definitely a pecking order in this family, and it really revolves around who gets to eat first and that sort of thing. And I've come to find that is a true representation of who the Fausti family is and what they're about. And, once I came face to face with them in book 3, I knew how important they were going to be to Scarlett and Brando, because once they entered into these two characters' lives, they're not going to be so easily shaken. And turns out they wasn't, because, from that point forward, the family is involved in what goes on between these two. And, Scarlett was something of a different sort of creature for them, too, because, like I said, she's extremely curious, and she sort of fluttered in and invoked the sleeping giant, and they were not prepared for her either, as much as she was not prepared for them. And I think that really put them on even turf. Now, what I really love about these books as well is that it's told from Scarlett's point of view and also Brando's. So these two had, a different opinion of this family, once they entered into their lives. And, the relationship, all the characters in The Beautiful Years are all flawed. There's something that they all have to work through. But as far as Brando and Scarlett, I loved when they did it together, because it was just so compelling, and I just couldn't get enough of their love story. And, the Fausti family definitely affected them in so many different ways, as well as them affecting the Fausti family. And that all plays out, in these books. And the relationship between Brando and his father is extremely three-dimensional. There are so many different layers to it. And, Brando always knew who he was and the potential footsteps that he could follow in. And it's not that he tried to fight who he was. He accepted it, but there was a lot of tension between him and his father, and that's all, in these books, the reasons why. And he was going to resist until he decided to give in, because that's basically who Brando is. He doesn't let anyone, even this powerful, criminal family, tell him what to do, because he does what he wants when he wants and when he's ready to do it. All right, so that is the Fausti family. Like I said, it's these ruthless but beautiful people, and I cannot wait for you to meet them and read these books. Again, I want to ask you guys to subscribe, because this is just book 1, and there is so much in store for you. I'm a writer, but I'm also a reader, and I can read these books over and over because there's just so many things that happen. There's so many ups and downs, and there's just so many beautiful things in this book that come together to create the beautiful years. And I hope that you take this journey and you read it and you fall in love with them as much as I fell in love when I was writing this story. So subscribe. Don't forget, this is the last video, but it's only the first book. And I want to take a minute to thank everyone who has watched these videos, who have shared them, and for all the support that I've received. I couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you so much for that. And again, pick this up today because it's a beautiful journey, and I can't wait for you to read it. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.